Hello students, I welcome you all to 11th standard, especially to commerce group. In this video we are going to learn the subject commerce. Till your 10th standard you have learned Tamil, English, Maths, Science, Social, and now onwards you are going to learn some new subjects, and I promise you it's going to be very easy if you have interest on it. So try to show some interest, then you will be easily understood the subjects. Okay students, so now all of you take your commerce book. Take your pencil and your classwork note also. Keep one separate note for commerce classwork. Okay, so let's move on. So as we have been saying commerce, do you know the meaning of commerce? Okay, before getting to our lesson, let's see what is commerce. Okay, what is commerce? In simple terms, commerce means the business of buying and selling. It is nothing but there are many activities involved in the procedure of buying and selling. The whole thing is called commerce. Okay, for example, there's a pencil in your hand, right? Have you ever thought how the pencil came into your hand? And you know it was produced or it was made somewhere in some part of our country, right? And the product came near to a shopkeeper, and from that shopkeeper you bought it. So there are many process which involves to getting the product from the producer to our hands, to the consumer. Okay, so in simple terms, commerce means the business of buying and selling things. Okay, now let's move on. Your first unit in your book, Roman number 3. Open your book, page 2, Roman number 3. Unit 1, and that unit 1, the topic is fundamentals of business. As I said, commerce means business. First we are going to learn unit 1, fundamentals of business, and in this topic there are 3 chapters. First chapter, that is our first lesson, historical background of commerce in the subcontinent, and the second chapter, objectives of business, and the third chapter, classification of business activities. Okay, in first unit under the topic fundamentals of business we are going to learn 3 chapters. Chapter 1, historical background of commerce in subcontinent, and then objectives of business, and then classification of business activities. Okay, so in this video we are going to cover the first one, historical background of commerce in the subcontinent. That is your first chapter. Okay students, so before get into our lesson, I want you all to turn your book to page number Roman letter 11. Turn your book to page number Roman letter 11. So why I told to open this page means I want you to be confident for what you have chosen. Okay, as you have chosen the commerce group, you have made a great decision in your life, right? And I want you have the knowledge of what you are going to gain through this subject, and I want you all to be confident, very very confident in all those subjects that you are going to learn. So here they have given some scope of commerce education. As you have chosen this, there are so many opportunities are there in this higher education. Okay, so let's see. Have you taken Roman letter 11 in your book? Commerce as a field of knowledge is all pervasive in nature. It offers enormous opportunity for higher education and employment both in India and abroad. The scope after higher secondary program in commerce is given below. So you are not going to just end after this 11th and 12th, right? You are going to study higher and higher. For that, what are the opportunities that you have is clearly mentioned here. And commerce is not a field which is very small, okay? It is enormous. That means very great opportunities that you are going to have. So be confident that what you have chosen. And let's see after the 12th standard the things that you can choose. Okay, bcom. In bcom itself there are so many groups. Okay, general, accounting and finance, corporation secretaryship, computer application, international business, bank management, and so on. Okay, and you can choose BBA also, and all the odd subjects you can choose. After this you can choose chartered accountant, CA, which is the higher post in this commerce group. And also the second column which is specially mentioned for accounting branch. Okay, and you can choose BL, Bachelor of Law, and you can become a lawyer. And then in master degree you can choose MCom. MCom also there are so many groups, and MBA, finance, marketing. Just go through it. Okay, just read it and have a good knowledge about your subject and be confident in your learning. Okay, and then that fourth column, there the jobs which government requires us is chartered accountancy, cost of management and accountancy, Indian administrative service. After this you can write some exams like group 4, group 2, group 1, and you can go into higher jobs. Okay students, come into next page, turn page number 12, and here they have given some scope for this learning which is not only in India. You can upgrade your learning through in abroad also. Okay, so if you have degree, that means bachelor degree, if you finished BCom or something, you can do MBA in any university like England, USA, Australia, and anywhere. Okay, while you are learning this, if you learned tally accounting, okay, that in any part of world, in any account business you will get a job. And you can do PhD programs in any foreign university. You can gain teaching jobs, and you can start up export business. You can become foreign exchange dealers. And as usual, all the people, they will just believe that if you choose commerce group you can become a bank officer or you can work in a bank. Okay, but you should understand there are so many opportunities, not only working in bank, but there are so many opportunities that is welcoming you to this new world. And the scope area of research, you can do PhD and research for the following topics: marketing management, finance, human resource management, entrepreneurship, retailing, supply chain management, logistic management, financial services, financial marketers, and etc. So just go through the 2 pages and just upgrade your knowledge. Okay students, now let's move on to our lesson. Now turn your book to page number 1. Page number 1. The topic is fundamentals of business. Before learning any topic, it is very important to know about the background. Okay, so here also we are going to learn the historical background of commerce in the subcontinent. Subcontinent is nothing but do you know how many continents are there in the world? Yes, there are 7 continents, but the subcontinent means smaller than a continent. Okay, India also considered as a subcontinent. So in India, let's see how the commerce improved, the strategy of business improved. Okay, let's come into learning objectives. Here we are going, in this lesson we are going to gain knowledge about the historical background of commerce in the subcontinent, and then learn the hindrances. Hindrances means difficulties of commerce and the trade. Know about the features of barter system. That means we are going to learn the background and the difficulties of commerce and the importance of barter system. Let's see what is barter system. Okay, before that you have seen a Kural, right? Just read it and go through it. Okay, introduction. When I read it, just follow me and wherever I say to underline it, you have to underline. When I check your classwork note and your books, I'll just check the things where I told to underline. Okay, so just follow me, then only you will understand the topic. Introduction. Commerce has been in practice since time immemorial. Okay, so commerce is not a new thing. Okay, it is a very long time, very old time itself. There is a commerce, there is a business. It is a part and parcel of human life, whether it is a king or a common man. Okay, as a human being, it is a part and parcel of our life. Okay, when we wake up early in the morning, what you will do? You'll just take a brush, paste, and you'll just brush, right? Till that the thing you are going to sleep, that time the bed sheets that you cover itself, all the things which that you use is you are getting it from the business activity. Okay, so business is very important and it is part and parcel of our life. Whether it is a king or a common man, it is a part of our life. It emerged as an economic activity mainly as barter system, which means exchange of goods for goods. Okay, underline barter system. So what is here barter system? Means exchange of goods for goods. So how this business started? This business started as an economic activity, mainly barter system. Barter system means now how we get a thing, we'll just pay money and we will get a product, right? But in the early times they exchange goods for goods. If you want some product, you have to sell some product. Okay, பண்டமாற்று முறை. உனக்கு ஏதாவது தேவைன்னா நீ உன்கிட்ட இருக்க ஒரு பொருளை கொடுத்து இன்னொரு பொருளை வாங்கணும். That is the thing there. Okay, so this commerce is started from barter system, which means exchange of goods for goods. It was so comfortable for neighboring villages, states, even countries to practice barter in the absence of a medium of exchange in the form of a money today. However, the concept of money occupied its predominance where scarce resources were it to be either exchanged between parties in need or countries in demand, and over a period of time barter economy took the dimension of monetary economy where money was used as a medium of exchange of goods and services. Okay students, so here they have said first they started the barter system after there is a demand of products. Okay, so they brought, you can underline, the time was changed barter economy to monetary economy. Okay, later it was changed by exchanging the products. Money came into the medium of exchange of goods and services. Okay, so at first they just exchange goods for goods, later goods for money. Next para, the growth of civilization witnessed the rise and fall of many dynasties, but still the course of commerce activities continued further and further, not only within a country but also between nations of the world. So here they said that the growth of civilization, that means have you heard, can you say some civilizations in our India? Yes, Indus Valley civilization, and there are so many. Okay, so though if there is a king come and his dynasty fall, or whoever come and rule the country and they just go, but still this commerce activities continued. யார் ஆட்சிக்கு வந்தாலும் அவங்க ஆட்சி கவிழ்ந்தாலும் ராஜாக்கள் ஆண்டாலும் அவங்க மாண்டு போனாலும் எந்த ஆட்சி இருந்தாலும் அது இந்த காமர்ஸ்க்கு பிரச்சனையே கிடையாது. Okay, so still the activities continued not in only inside the country but also outside our nation. However, Tamil Nadu remained to be a founder of trade and commerce both within and outside, as evidenced in various ancient literatures like Sangam. Okay, Sanga Kala Ilakyangal. Have you heard? Have you studied in Tamil? Yes. So, in that Sangam literatures, there are many evidences that we receive for this commerce activities. Okay, Sanga Kala Ilakyangalல இந்த வணிகம் பத்தி நிறைய தகவல்கள் நமக்கு கொடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கு. And the next para, the whole of commerce activity emerged from barter system into multidimensional and multifaceted scientific system consisting of courses like monetary system, underline, mail order business, hire purchase system, installment system, purchase system, and so on. Okay, so here they have given how the commerce activities developed. Okay, how buying and selling developed. First, as we saw, from barter system, then it changed into monetary system, that means coin system, நாணய முறை. After that, mail order business, that means anjal vali vanigam. Okay, they will just send the products after from mail order. Okay, they sent money. And then hire purchase system, that means later on it improved, like they கடனுக்கு வாடகைக்கு அந்த மாதிரி கடனுக்கு கொடுத்து வாங்குறது. நெக்ஸ்ட் இன்ஸ்டால்மெண்ட் பர்ச்சேஸ் சிஸ்டம். ஓகே, ஃபுல்லுமா காசு கொடுத்துட்டு அப்புறம் இன்ஸ்டால்மெண்ட்ல கலெக்ட் பண்ணாங்க. ஸோ do you know, can you say how in this 2021 what system that we follow for our purchase? The advanced technology that we are following, can you say? Okay, let's read. In a technology driven society today, again the course of commerce activities is heading for a underline cashless system through e-commerce. Okay, do you understand? So this 2021 we are using cashless system, that is e-commerce. Okay, we'll just buy some products and we'll just Google Pay or Phone Pay. The cash we cannot see, all will go through bank bank activities. Okay, and which means business activities enabled. So first page over. So in this first page, let's just remember what we have learned. We have learned the introduction, what is commerce, and we have seen commerce is part and parcel of human life. It started as an economic activity, mainly as barter system. Okay, it is very important to remember barter system. So what is barter system? Barter system means exchange of goods for goods. Then over a period of time, barter economy took dimension of monetary economy. It changed into coin economy. Then where money was used as a medium of exchange of goods and services. Ancient Sangam literature evidenced Tamil Nadu's commerce and trade. At present, all commerce activities is heading for cashless system through e-commerce. Okay, these are the things that we have seen in page number 1. So now let's move on to page number 2. All of you open your book to page number 2. So from the previous page, as we have seen the cashless system, which is based on through electronic modes like online trading, mobile banking and e-marketing. So e-commerce means at present the world we are living is under e-commerce. Okay, it is an electronic mode and online trading. We do online shopping and all, right? So online trading, mobile banking and e-marketing. Next, in this context, it is all the more important for any student to learn the historical background of the growth and development of commerce in the country in general and in Tamil Nadu in particular. An attempt is made in this chapter to explain such a history so as to ascertain the magnitude of commerce today. So in this para explains what is this lesson is all about and how important that one person has to learn about this commerce. Okay, in country in general, Tamil Nadu in particular, we are going to learn how this commerce in the country in general and Tamil Nadu in particular. Okay, let's move on to next para. The earliest trading population of India was Indus Valley people. Okay, underline. Who used the word trade? The word Vaniyam or Vanibam would have a Dravidian origin. The early Tamils produced their products and goods in their lands and bartered their surplus, and that is how trade came into existence. So here they have said the word Vaniyam and Vanibam, which is very important. In Tamil we say no Vanibam, Vaniham, and it has the origin from Dravidian languages. Okay, mostly from Tamil language. And at first Tamil people they have produced the products. Okay, ஒரு பொருளை வந்து அவங்க வந்து செய்றாங்க and for their consumption, அவங்க தேவைக்கு மிஞ்சி அதிகமா இருக்கிறது, the extra which they have, they started selling to others. Okay, how this trade starts. Then the word Vaniham has been widely used in Sangam literature like Purananuru and Thirukural. That is very important. The Tamil Brahmi inscriptions from Alagar Malai, Pugalur Mangulam and Sri Lanka illustrate the fact that trade in gold, oil, plug, cloth, etc. was conducted during the early age. Okay, so the word Vanigam, which is not a new term, the word commerce, it is in the Sangam literatures. Okay, like Purananur and Tirukkural, as we have seen before, there are so many evidences that we get from the Sangam literatures. And Brahmi inscription, okay, நிறைய கல்வெட்டுகள்லையும் இந்த வணிகம் பத்தி நிறைய எழுதியிருக்கிறாங்க. And at first they have just trade gold, oil, plug, cloth, etc. Next paragraph. Trade in Sangam period was both internal and external. That means in Sangam period, inside the country and also outside the country, they had trade. But it was conducted by means of barter. Pandamatru trade was one of the major means of linking various regions in the medieval period. So this trade, Pandamatru Murai, which linked various regions in the medieval period. Sangam work refers to great traders, their caravans, security force, markets, marts and guilds of such great traders. The important articles which then hilly tribes offered to the neighbors in exchange were honey and roots and fruits, while pastoral people offered cattle, milk and milk products. So here this trade was according to their region where the people live. Okay, so the hilly tribes, மலைவாழ் மக்கள் வந்து அவங்க கிட்ட என்ன இருந்துச்சோ அதை வந்து எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணாங்க. So what they had honey, roots, கிழங்கு வகைகள் and fruits. They exchange the things in their place, which they got in their place. Okay, then pastoral people, வயல் நிலத்தில் இருந்த மக்கள், they offered cattle, milk and milk products. They exchange cattle, ஆடு மாடுகளை ஏதாவது ஒரு பொருளுக்கு வந்து எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிக்கிட்டாங்க. Then cattle served as money for some times. During the same period, most of the inland trade was done in salt as a medium of exchange under the barter mode. Paddy too served as a medium of exchange for a certain period. So here they have explained what are the things mainly they exchanged for goods under barter system. Okay, so especially cattle, ஆடு மாடுகள், and salt and paddy, நெல் வகைகள். Okay, there was dependence and interdependence among the people in matters of trade and commerce. Barter systems cemented their relationship internally, while coins were used later for the purpose of exchange of goods in external trade. So first set of trade was barter system, then it changed into coin. Okay, exchange of coin. And now look into that picture. There is a map, right? Let's read out. The important trade routes of silk and spices blocked by the Ottoman Empire in 1453 with the fall of Constantinople and the Byzantine Empire led to the search for a sea route across the Atlantic skirting Africa. Okay, so in 1453, the fall of Constantinople and Byzantine Empire. During this fall of the empire, how they fall? Block of Ottoman Empire. Okay, Ottoman ஒரு empire வந்து இந்த ரெண்டு empires வந்து தோற்கடிச்சனால the route for the silk and spice. Okay, இந்தியாவில இருந்து silk and spice வந்து உலகம் ஃபுல்லும் அனுப்பிக்கிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. So during this fall, Indian people itself, they found places. Okay, so in that map you can see from Tamil Nadu, India, wherever they had a trade. Okay, throughout Europe, throughout Arabia, Somalia, Africa, and everywhere, India had trade with the countries. Okay, so let's move on to next topic, trade and traders in the Pandya dynasty. So trade and traders in the Pandya dynasty. பாண்டியர்களுடைய ஆட்சி காலத்துல வணிகம் எப்படி இருந்தது? As we have learned, once the South India was under the kings of Chera, Chola, Pandya, right? So here we are going to specially focus on Pandya dynasty. Trade and commerce was so common to Pandya dynasty. Information collected from the diaries of foreign travelers, voyagers, mariners, and adventurers of the ancient world highlighted the prosperity of trade in the Pandya country. The Hebrew and Latin literature, archaeological remains in Aden, Alexandria, Java, Sumatra, and even China add support to the fact of existence of trade network in the Pandya country. Okay, so during the Pandya dynasty, there are many information that Indians get from the diaries of foreign travelers. Okay, while வெளிநாட்டவர்கள் இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து சென்று அவங்க எழுதி வச்ச குறிப்புகள் எல்லாம் இந்த பாண்டியர்களோட ஆட்சியின் கீழே இருந்த வணிகத்தை பத்தி அழகா எழுதியிருக்கிறாங்க. Next, trade in copper, underline, clothes, salt, flour, sandalwood, fish, paddy, cereals, pearls, etc. flourished during their period. Okay, so in the Pandya dynasty, what are the important things, important goods they have trade? They have sent copper, clothes, salt, flour, sandalwood, fish, paddy, cereals, pearls, etc. Okay, the place where the goods were sold was called. So we have completed second page. Let's recall what we have seen in this page. Here we have learned about the term vaniyam or vanibam. Okay, the word has Dravidian origin, and Sangam literature like Tirukural and Purananuru widely use this term. And then in barter system, cattle, salt, paddy were served as a medium of exchange. Later coins were used as a medium of exchange. Okay, students, and then we have seen trade and traders in the Pandya dynasty. Now let's move on to next page, page number 3. In this page number we are going to learn some new terms. Okay, so be concentrate. The place, as we have seen the trade and traders in the Pandya dynasty, here we are going to learn the place where the goods were sold was called Angadi. Okay, underline, in their period. Day market was called as Nalangadi, while the night market was called as Alangadi. Okay, so underline Angadi. Angadi means market, and they have two different markets. Day market, it is called Nalangadi, and the night market was called Alangadi. Okay, underline, very very important. According to Saint Poet Ilango in Silappadiharam, Madurai to Kanji, he described Madurai as Iruperu Niyamat, meaning sleepless city due to round the clock business activities. Okay, in the Saint Poet Ilango in Silappadiharam, he has written the city Madurai as sleepless city, that means தூங்கா நகரம். மதுரையை சிலப்பதிகாரத்தில் எப்படி மென்ஷன் பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்னா தூங்கா நகரம், due to round the clock business activities, that means 24 hours restless market. Okay, in that Madurai city they had the whole day market, and the day market was called as Nalangadi and the night market was called as Alangadi. Okay students, I hope you have understood. Let's move on to next. Coastal trade in ancient Tamil Nadu. Coastal trade, coastal means கடற்கரையோர வர்த்தகம். Okay, in ancient period, in ancient Tamil Nadu, how the trade was happened in coastal area, கடற்கரைகள் ஓரங்கள்ல எப்படி வர்த்தகம் நடைபெற்றது. Let's read out. Big cities like Pumbuhar had the Maruvurapakam, that means inland town, and Pattinapakam, that means coastal town, had market and bazaars where many merchants met one another for the purpose of selling or buying different kinds of commodities and stuff. Port towns like Tondi, Kokkai, Puhar, Muziri were always seen as busy with marts and markets with activities related to imports and exports. So now we can see the marketplaces, right? And the place will be very busy and they will bring many products, they will sell, people will buy, and all those things will happen. The same thing happened in ancient Tamil Nadu. முன்னாடி உள்ள தமிழ்நாடு எப்படி இருந்துச்சோ அது அந்த பேட்டர்ன் இப்போவும் நம்முடைய தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்கு. Okay, so the port means துறைமுகம். Ancient Tamil Nadu, they had many ports, and the towns are, they have mentioned the names Tondi, Korkai, Puhar and Muziri, that they are the busy marts. Okay, in such a brisk trade, people of coastal region engaged themselves in coastal trade and developed their intercontinental trade context. ஸோ இந்த கோஸ்டல் ஏரியா, இந்த கடற்கரை ஏரியாவில் யார் ரொம்ப இன்வால்வ்டாக இருந்தாங்கன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, த பீப்புள் ஹூ ஸ்டேட் நியர் த கோஸ்டல், அந்த கடற்கரை ஓரம் வாழ்ந்த மக்கள் தான் ரொம்ப அதிகமாக அதில் ஈடுபட்டிருந்தாங்க. They were engaged in different kinds of fishing, pearls and conches, and produced salts and built ships. Boats like Padagu, Timil, Thoni, Ambu, Odambunai, etc. were used to cross the rivers for domestic trade, while Kalam, Marakalam, Vangam, Navi, etc. were used for crossing ocean for foreign trade. Okay, here they have mentioned the names of the boats they have used. Okay, boats like Padagu, Timil, Thoni, Ambu, Odambanai. Okay, and they used that boats to cross the rivers. It's for domestic trade. Okay, and the other names like Kalam, Marakalam, Vangam, Navi are used to cross oceans for foreign trade. Okay, next, and here are some places, some trade centers they have given, important ancient trade centers in Tamil Nadu. Okay, read out the place names. Alangulam, it is in Ramanathapuram. Mailarpan, Mailapur near Chennai. Gebiris, Kaverippumpattinam. Podugi or Podusi, Arikamedu, Puducherry. Soptana, Marakanam. Nigam, Nagapattinam. Periyapattinam, Kayalpattinam. Kolsi, Korkai, Komari, Kanyakumari. These are the important places in ancient Tamil Nadu. Okay, next, role of government during ancient Tamil Nadu. So in that ancient Tamil Nadu we have seen how the trade were happened and what are the important places the trade were happened. Now we are going to look at what is the role of the government. ஓகே, நம்மளை ஆளக்கூடிய அந்த கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து அந்த நேரத்தில் அதை எப்படி கையாண்டாங்க. லெட்ஸ் ரீட் அவுட். ஃபாரினர்ஸ் ஹூ டிரான்சாக்டட் பிஸ்னஸ் வேர் நோன் அஸ் யாவனாஸ். ஓகே, அண்டர்லைன் ஸோ தமிழ்நாட்டில் வியாபாரத்தில் ஈடுபட்டிருந்த வெளிநாட்டவர்களை எப்படி சொன்னாங்கன்னா யாவனஸ். And Arabs who traded with Tamil were called Janahar. So here you are learning two terms. The foreigners, okay, வியாபாரத்தில் ஈடுபட்டிருந்த வெளிநாட்டவங்களை எப்படி சொன்னாங்க யாவனஸ். And the Arab people, okay, they were called Janahar. And Pattinapalli praised Kaveripupattinam as a city where various foreigners of high civilization speaking different languages assembled to transact business with the support of their kingdom. So here Pattinapalli, that is, it is a famous book in Sangam period. Okay, சங்க காலத்தில் உள்ள ஒரு famous book ஓட name தான் பட்டினப்பள்ளி. So in that book the city Kaveripupattinam, it is very very important, and that city was very famous for the foreigners of high civilization. Many people they join together, they speak different language, and it was a busy city. Next, the role of the state in trade related to two aspects, namely adequate infrastructure to sustain the trade and administrative machinery for tax action. Here the important role of the government is two important roles. Okay, what are they? The first one is building good buildings, okay, infrastructure, making good infrastructures, and for that, to maintain that, they collected the tax. So two important things they have made. First one is they built good buildings for mass market and trades. Then to maintain that, they collected the tax. Next, during the Sangam period, the main trade routes were passing through thick forest over Western Ghats. So during the Sangam period, that means Sangam period means Sangakalam, 3rd century. Now we are in 2021, okay, 20th century, but 3rd century itself they made trade routes were passing through the thick forest of over Western Ghats. மேற்கு தொடர்ச்சி மலை ஓரங்களில் அந்த மலைகளுக்குள்ளேயே அவங்க வந்து வணிகத்துக்கு வேண்டி ரோடெல்லாம் உருவாக்கியிருந்தாங்க. The state protected the merchant caravans on these trade routes from robbers and wild. Okay, we will continue. Before that, there is a place Alambare, okay, location situated 20 kilometers southeast of Maduranthakam in Kanjipuram district. And the importance of it is it was once a flourishing place of commerce. A mint also existed. So in this page number 3, let's recall what are the things that we have learned. Here we have learned some new terms like Angadi, Nalangadi and Allangadi. So what is Angadi? The place where the goods were sold was called Angadi in Pandya's period, the marketplace. Nalangadi means day market, Allangadi means night market. And Madurai was described as sleepless city, Tunga Nagaram. And we have seen the coastal trade in ancient Tamil Nadu and the role of the government during ancient Tamil Nadu. So the two important role of the government is they made adequate infrastructure and they collected the tax for it. Okay, next page, turn to page number 4. Main roads known as Peruvali were built for surface transportation. Besides, state expanded infrastructure for shipping such as ports, lighthouse, warehouse, etc. So government has created, they built many ports, okay, நிறைய துறைமுகங்கள் ஏற்படுத்தினாங்க. They made lighthouse, கலங்கரை விளக்கம், and warehouse, that means பண்டக காப்பகம். Okay, the things there, it is a place where we store the goods, Okay, the paddy and all the uh, agriculture things. Next, to promote overseas trade, many such ports were developed during the Sangam period. Kaviriputtanam was the chief port of the kingdom of Cholas, while Nagapattinam, Marakanam, Arikamedu, etc. So the important city name is Kaviriputtanam. It was a chief port of kingdom of Cholas. Similarly, Pandyas developed Korkai, Saliur, Kayal, Margavur, Pattinam and Kumari for foreign trade. The state governments installed checkposts to collect customs along the highways and ports. So, on the highways and also for the ports, துறைமுகங்கள் நெடுவெளி சாலைகளுக்கு government they kept checkpost and they collected the taxes for it. Okay students, so that's all for today. We will end up here. The remaining part of the lesson will be continued in next video. Okay, so now take your classwork note. Page number 9. Today we are going to write very short answers and short answer questions. Okay, take your classwork note. Write today's date, write today's date. Unit 1, Fundamentals of Business. Chapter 1, Historical background of commerce in the subcontinent. Write the heading and then write the new words. Barter system means Pandamatu Murai. Hindrance means Tadai. Allangadi means Malai Kadai. Coastal towns Kadarkarai Nagaram. Constraints means also Tadai. Trade Vaniham. So write neatly. So barter system Pandamatu Murai. Hindrance Tadai. Allangadi Malai Kadai. Coastal towns Kadarkarai Nagaram. Constraints Tadai. Trade Vaniham. So if you don't get time, just pause the video and write. Okay, now let's move on to next. Very short answer questions. What is meant by barter system? Barter system means exchange of goods for goods. Then what is meant by Nallangadi? Day market was called Nallangadi during Pandya period. What is meant by Allangadi? According to Saint Poet Ilango in Silappadigaram, the night market was called Allangadi. After writing these three questions, Let's write one more question for today's classwork. Short answer questions. Explain the meaning of the term Vaniham. Okay. The word Vaniham or Vanibam would have had a Dravidian origin. The early Tamils produced their products and goods in their land and bartered their surplus, and that is how trade came into existence. Then the word Vaniham has been widely used in Sangam literature like Purananur and Tirukkural. Write it down neatly. And that's for today. Now let's see the homework. Let's see today's homework. Study the classworks. The things that you have written today, study it. Okay. Write answers for the following questions. So take homework note and write it down. Exchange of goods for goods was called dash system. According to Saint Poet Ilango in Silappadiharam, the night market was called dash. Dash city was called sleepless city due to round the clock business activities. Foreigners who transacted business in ancient Tamil Nadu were known as dash. Today the course of commerce activities heading for a dash system through dash. So just go through page number 1 to 4 and find the answers and write it down. Okay, that's all for today, and we'll meet soon the remaining part of the lesson in next video. Okay, until then,